Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. Today we have Redmercy coming at you guys once again, giving you a new update of a new stuff coming out. Now before we continue, I want to quickly go in queue for this because guys, there's something to show you. Something very, it's finally here. Champ Select reporting and muting, it's finally here. Well, sort of. Let me explain. So first we'll go through this post together. Riot has literally just released this, and on the PBE server, you can see I am currently in queue. I will go ahead and go in Champ Select and literally show you guys exactly how it looks like, exactly how it works, so we can see it firsthand on the PBE server, how it looks, works, etc. So if you guys are excited, if you enjoy this, whatever, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's just jump right into this post. Let's check out what Redo Games has to say. So, earlier this month, we mentioned we'd be running fast iteration experiments on live servers to more rapidly adapt to behavioral trends than we have in the past. During patches 10.3 and 10.14, if you're wondering, the PBEs are 10.13 at the moment, which means the live server is 10.12. So essentially next patch, which is in literally a couple of days, we're running a 2-patch experiment for champion select, reporting, and muting. We'll start with North America and Korea around the time 10.13 launches. So essentially, guys, in a couple of days, hopefully Wednesday, that's usually when the patch launches. It might be a little bit after, I'm not sure, obviously, but hopefully on Wednesday, NA and the Korean servers will have this champion select muting and reporting active, ready to go here, for us to use in everything. Of course, other regions like EU, any other regions, any other Asian regions as well, of course, and et cetera, Oceanic server. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait. Yeah, so expand our experiment scope as we go. You'll know the experiment is live in your region when you get a one-time notification in Champion Select, which I already accidentally... Okay. They're highlighting the newly added features. I already won a PB server in Champ Select just to check if it's actually there, and then I got the notification, so we probably won't see it again. Just, FYI. Anyways, Champ Select muting. So, we're running this experiment to see if Champ Select muting leads to changes in behavior related to negative chat in Champ Select and in-game. So you can literally mute that person in Champion Select and you won't have to see anything they have to say in Champ Select whatsoever, right? Which is a good plus already. If you mute a player in Champion Select, however, they'll be muted in-game as well. The mute will also persist if you're matched with that player again later in your player's session, which is huge. Because I know a lot of the times, like, if you mute them in game, then they wouldn't be muted again next game or something like that, or it wouldn't be consistent, it would just be muted for that one specific game only, which kind of sucked. But this is good because it's muted in Champ Select, it's muted in game, like the one following up the Champ Select, of course, and if you get them on your Champ Select again, and probably in game again, they're still muted, which is good because, you don't want to see what that person you muted has to say probably, right? It could be very toxic, demoralizing, whatever. You don't have to see it whatsoever. Completely erased, I guess, from your existence. Right, which is great. However, mutes won't extend to post-game lobby, since our current focus is exclusively on adding muting to Champ Select, not the whole client. So, in case you're wondering what that means, once the game is done, the Champ Select or the ends post-game lobby, where you can see all the stats, scores, etc., and you have that final little chat section on the bottom left. They will not be muted in that. So, if they're gonna flame you ever at all, that's probably gonna be the part where they're gonna flame you. So keep that in mind, guys. If you don't like someone that's in your game and you think they're going to be flaming, toxic, whatever, the second the game is done, just get out of that post-game lobby as soon as possible and you're good to go. But yeah, that's the only part where they will not be muted. Otherwise, in-game, in Champ Select, muted entirely, which is great. If post-game lobby muting ends up being more important than other experiments we're working on, we'll prioritize it. So that's good. So if Riot seems, or from player feedback, it seems like maybe we should mute them in post-game lobby as well and keep it very consistent and persistent, then they will add it as well, which is great. Now, Champ Select reporting. This is another, arguably even better one. We're running this experiment to gain a clear understanding of how often different types of negative behaviors occur in Champion Select, and the different impacts they have in game, such as the chance of winning. Oh, we got a thing already. Nice, that's pretty fast. Chances of winning, rate of in-game reports, etc. The initial iteration of Champ Select reporting will not be tied to our penalty system. So let's quickly pause on this before we continue reading, and I'll show you guys a couple other things here as well. And let's take a look at how it actually looks like in here, right? So you can see, let me go ahead and switch it to this desktop view. It's a little bit easier to see, I hope. And then again, it's the same thing. I'll just do it here. That's fine. As you can see, you can mouse over champs. So you can mute them like this. You can see mute, 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 right? And it'll tell you that the person is muted, which is good. Okay, well, it's missing one notification here, but it has a little icon there you can see that shows that the person is indeed muted, so they cannot be, you can't see what they type anymore, which is great. Of course, you can unmute Okay, a little bit of a glitch here. That's a wrong visible icon, which, you know, is not correct. So go ahead and pick affiliates for now, I guess. Right. So that's obviously something that's not correct. But either way, you know, you can see if someone is muted or unmuted, which is obviously really, really good. Wait, what? Why did he say thanks? Anyways, I don't know what happened. Anywho's. I think he wanted mid, and I accidentally gave him mid without realizing it. Okay, let's check out how the report system works, right? So you click on the little icon here. Of course, it says report a player, and you get to see options to report. You can report for verbal abuse, refusing to play position, which we can test on him just for fun here. I mean, it's PvE, whatever. Griefing/hostage taking and unskilled play. So verbal abuse, of course, being someone very toxic and champ select, report them for that. Refusing to play position. If someone just doesn't want to play their position, they're just taking your position, you know, there's that. Of course, griefing and hostage taking, right? If they're, you know, griefing the champ select, or they're reporting you or trying to force you into do something you don't want to do, or make you dodge or something like that. And of course, unskilled play. So if you just press it, boom, they instantly get reported for that. Right? You can report them from pretty much anything. I'm going to report them all for something just for fun. It's PvE. It's PvE, whatever, right? And that's kind of how that works, guys. I'm going to go ahead and dodge this because I don't actually want to play. But that's kind of an in-game or a lobby perspective of how it actually looks like, you know, in a literal aspect of how it'll literally work and look when you actually play. So let's continue reading the post very quickly because there's a few more things to cover. Once this experiment, wait, we didn't... Chance of winning, blah, blah, blah. The initial iteration of champ select reporting will not be tied to our penalty... Wait, what? The initial iteration of champion select reporting will not be tied to our penalty systems. Why? Who? Where? What? So then what exactly... So what... Wait, what? So then what exactly is the point of reporting if they're not tied to our... Maybe I'm misreading. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe someone in the chat with a bigger brain than I will have a better idea of what this actually means. But either way, moving on. Once this experiment ends, we'll use the report data to plan out further investments in a penalty system as a second iteration. Okay, so then does it mean anything right now in the first two patches? If you report someone in champ select, does it just not do anything? I guess will it just give Riot a little notification that you reported someone and that's about it? And no actual punishment will be issued, I guess. Not entirely sure, I'll be completely honest. I hope that's not the case, because then it's just pointless. Anyways, we're excited to get out our first experiments tackling game-ruining behaviors onto the live servers. Be on the lookout for more updates throughout the rest of the year and into 2021. So again, guys, only the NA server and the Korean server, of course, in a couple of days, hopefully, we'll be getting this, you know, as it comes out, which is great. And other regions, they said, experiment our scope as we go. So maybe, you know, late into the patch, maybe EU and EUNE will get it or something like that. Then maybe Tempo 1.4, you know, other servers will get it, Oceanic, LAN server, whatever. Any other servers that still, of course, needed, right? Which, of course, is going to be wonderful. To have, of course, in that. Now, they did release the post we talked about before. I'll very quickly go over briefly where they have like a chart and everything kind of showing, you know, which of the types of behaviors are considered the most often and the worst to play with and experience with. And of course, they released a post here where they talked about all the features that they want to do. So here they talked about the champ select and muting, right? Which it's already pretty much out, which is great. Following that, in case, you know, you're not up to date or you want to kind of get a reminder, they're going to be working on rapid detection and false positive trade-offs, which essentially means they want to increase the amount of bans that they're dishing out and restrictions and, you know, chat restrictions or like, you know, X-day bans. Which is going to be, you know, good, of course. But of course, they're also saying that they want to do a false positive trade-off, where essentially that means that, you know what, if they get, let's say, out of 1,000 players, let's say 950 of them have been correct punishments dealt out, but 50 of them were arguably incorrect and maybe undeserving of punishments. Is that okay? You know, is that worth it or not, right? That's kind of the thing. So, you know, if you guys want to let me know what you think about that down below, you can let me know, of course. And yeah, so that's kind of what they're kind of aiming for to do over here after the champ select reporting and muting. And they did say that they're going to do other stuff as well. I guess this was in the post. I was trying to... Oh, here. It was here, I believe. The long version. Here we go. They talked about other things that they wanted to do as well, such as... okay, they don't talk about it. I saw there was another post that said that they wanted to do something else even further, but maybe... Or maybe I'm just kind of tripping right now. Maybe I could just be tripping. But either way, guys, that's going to be more or less about it for this video. There you have it, right? We have the champ select reporting and muting finally out, ready to go. Showed you guys on the PvE server how it looks like and how it is and how it's going to function and stuff like that, which is, of course, great news. It'll be out in NA and Korea in a couple of days. Other servers hopefully relatively soon. And then following that, of course, we're going to be getting other features such as getting just essentially more bans overall, which I hope will fix it, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's pretty tough to play League of Legends at the moment. It's not fun. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's just not fun at all. It's just ridiculous. People just give up and rage quit nonstop, and it's just absolutely insane. But either way, guys, that is gonna be about it for this video. If you enjoyed, if you're excited, all that good stuff, don't forget to hit that like button. Always keeping you up in the loop, up to date on the new stuff, and hope you guys appreciate that. But either way, that is it for this video. See you guys for tomorrow's video probably, and until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace, peace, peace.